you said the important thing, though. We need to know whether we know the B's will be there. We know the 2's will be there. So let's assume that NB is greater than N2. What does that tell me? That is, there are more guys who want high quality than there is high quality available. So what's going to happen in equilibrium? Okay, all right. So let's draw our picture. So here's our picture. Okay. So here's Q. Here's P. So what does our equilibrium look like? How am I going to find my equilibrium? Well, what do I know? I know I got to have zero profit for the ones. So I know that. So I got C1 of Q. And I know who has to be buying at least some from the ones. At A's. So I know Q1A, P1A. Everybody agree with that? That is, in equilibrium, the ones are willing to supply any of those quality levels along that curve. The A's are going to choose the one they like the best. They'll go in and they'll buy that quality right here from the ones. Everybody agree with that? That's a point on our equilibrium. Now, we just said because of this, some B's are going to also have to buy from the ones, right? Remember, there's too many B's to only buy from the 2's. So some B's are going to have to buy from the ones. So the B's, because they have a preference for quality, are going to have to buy up here, right? They're going to be somewhere else along that cost curve, right? They're going to want a higher quality, Q1B, P1B. That's where the B's are going to be. Everybody agrees with that? All right? So now, where are the 2's going to be? Well, they have to be tangent to this indifference curve, right? Okay. All right. So this is pi 2 equals pi 2 star, right? That is where the 2's are going to earn some equilibrium profit. Okay? And their equilibrium profit is going to be determined by their difference in cost, basically relative to the ones, and the type B type's willingness to pay for higher quality, right? That's really where they're going to go. Right? People see that equilibrium? All right. So that's it. We've determined equilibrium. The way I think about this equilibrium is I need to find my boundary condition, right? I need to find what pins down this market. And then once I've found where it's pinned down, I can use a series of indifference conditions to kind of get me to the solution, right? I know the one's got to sell to both types, so I know the one's got to be indifferent between here, and I know the B's have to be indifferent between the two firms, so it goes to here. So let's say I had 20 types of firms and 40 types of consumers, and I ordered them from the least quality preferring consumers to the most quality preferring consumers, and I did the same for the firms, I could follow this same logic. Everybody sees how I would do it. I would just match them up as I go. I would start out, I'd say, okay, who's going to match with the lowest quality firm? This guy. All right, well, if there's a, there's going to be some person who's indifferent between him and the next quality firm. And I would just chain all these indifference relationships together going up the curve. Okay? What would happen if we increase the number of 2's to make it bigger than NB? How would that change my picture? I increase the number of 2s. How would that change my picture? Yeah.
The profit is going to have to go down to match the A's if there are more A's than N1s.
So again, let's assume I still got both types of firms operating. I'm just going to increase the 2s to be bigger than the B's. So now all the B's are going to buy from the 2s. And so now the 2s have to now appeal to the A's. So they have to be able to compete for the A's, which means they're going to move to a profit curve that's tangent down here, right? That is, they're going to move to a pi 2 equals pi 2, call it hat, right? They're going to move down to a lower profit curve because they now have to appeal to these people who don't really like their product nearly as much as the B's did. And then the B's are going to be better off because they're going to now be tangent to this lower price curve, right? They're going to be tangent down here. So the B's are going to be better off because there's been an increase in the supply of people willing to consume, willing to produce the kind of products they like, right? There's more people willing to produce the kind of products they like, which are high quality products. Okay? People see how that works? All right? So that would switch the equilibrium. You can work through a bunch of examples, and it's always a good idea to do it. Now, what would happen if I switched it and I made it N1 plus N2 is less than NA plus NB? I'd have to bring something else in now. What else? What would happen now? Now what's going to happen? There's going to have to be some consumers who don't get served, right? In the previous case, it was some firms. So there would have to be some fallback utility that you get if you don't get the good. And one of these two types of consumers is going to have to get its fallback utility. That fallback utility curve would then be my starting point for my analysis, right? But I would still go the same way. The 1s would be stuck with the low quality guys. The 2s would be stuck with the high quality guys. The A's would be buying from the low quality producers. The B's would be buying from the high quality producers. But you'd still get a same indifference relationship. It's just my boundary condition would be determined by the B's, by the utility side rather than the cost side. Kind of corresponds to pi equals 0. No surplus from participating in the market because some people are outside, so the equivalent people can't get any surplus. Okay? Any questions that